Trump can't afford to make Lutnick's $100,000 H1b visa an annual fee on big tech.
This is pretty easy. I'm going to say no. You're going to say yes, he can afford it.
I'm saying he can't afford it.
Oh, he can't afford it. Then
Yeah,
I will also
okay,
say
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
No affording
Not a
this
double
massive
negative.
change to the visa program. This is very complicated. Why don't you give our viewers a little bit of background about what exactly is happening here?
So there's sort of two policies. The top line is this $100,000 fee on H1b visas. And this is complicated because Howard Lutnick is currently openly contradicting the White House. The official line from the White House is that this is a one-time fee on new H1b visa applications. Lutnick has maintained and continues to maintain that this will be an annual fee and initially said that this was on existing H1b visa holders. So it led to this total disaster in, lots of big tech where you had Amazon and Microsoft and JP Morgan Chase summoning the workers back to America. People, disproportionately Indian workers who were visiting home, going to a wedding, visiting parents, telling them, whatever it costs, get on a plane, get to America before the deadline. It was only 48 hours these workers had.
Yeah.
Then it comes out, it doesn't actually affect the workers who are currently have the H1b visas. Lutnick wants it to be an annual thing because it's just poor politics, as we'll get into in a moment, but it's his way of marrying the anti-immigration wing of the party, anti-legal immigration wing of the party, I should say, with the need to generate revenue for the government because we currently have a $36 trillion national debt. The second half of the visa reform is coming from DHS, where they are prioritizing and changing who gets more bids in the lottery for H1b visas. Mind you, there are only 85,000 H1b visas given in a year, something like that.
Yeah.
And these are the opposite of the illegals who came under Biden and immediately went on taxpayer-funded Medicaid in California and get, special SNAP benefit. No. These are the workers that on net Manhattan Institute estimate contribute, I think it's $700,000 in their lifetimes to reducing the U.S. deficit because they give so much in taxes and they aren't on welfare. They aren't taking away from social safety net. They're just putting money back into the system. And that's not even including the economic growth. The DHS's change, and this is just going to get a little bit technical, but you'll see sort of in these graphs, the DHS's change is that you have a range of workers, levels 1 through 4. Level 1 workers are those who are considered entry level. Level 4 being the most experienced. And what DHS wants to do is give, if you're a level 4 worker, so the most experienced, you get 4 tickets in the metaphorical lottery for H1b visas. If you're level 3, you get 3, level 2, 2 tickets. Level 1, you only get 1 ticket. This is pretty regressive in terms of what the Trump administration wants to do, if you think about what they say they want to do, at least. What this means is that American graduates, or foreign graduates of American university that we've invested time, talent, and treasure into, they'll get 7% fewer visas. Outsourcing companies will get 8% more. And also, so these are from the Institute for Progress, which is like an abundance-aligned think tank. These are in real petitions filed in the last 4 years with the DHS for these H1b visa applications. A level 1 candidate could be an entry-level ENT surgeon making $300,000, which is on the lower end of the scale for being an ENT surgeon. Maybe like a 60-year-old ENT surgeon could be bringing in over $1 million, but the entry level only $300,000. A level 4 candidate can include a landscape architect who's making $36,000 a year because they're earning at the high end of the scale. This obviously doesn't make a lot of sense for many reasons, but first among them is that the entire economy right now is AI and big tech.
Yeah.
I cannot even overstate how much this is the case. For starters, we have never in American history had this much household wealth currently invested in the stock market. It's about 30% of household wealth.
Staggering.
Americans have never been more exposed to the stock market and dependent on the growth, right? Because home prices are not a great thing to necessarily invest in. Cash, absolutely not. It's all equities. And what is driving equities right now? Big tech.
Yep.
On top of that, real GDP growth in the first half of the year, half of that was because of IT investment. And so if you're putting a tax on the inputs for big tech, Amazon is the #1 company that uses H1b visas, you're effectively increasing, their prices for how they can operate. So if you get one bad quarter of earnings reports from Amazon, from JP Morgan Chase, from, the company, Microsoft, the companies that really use these H1b visas, it's why Elon Musk was warning before the admin even started. You do not go after H1b visas because that is all that's keeping the economy afloat right now.
Yeah.
It's everything else is a little way too soft, but you can overlook inflation creeping closer back to 3% and job creation going closer down to 0. As long as you get that, bonker stock market return.
Yeah.
The moment that collapses, not only does the general sentiment go down, but individual Americans are more exposed to that stock market than ever.
That was a brilliant summation of this problem, and I'm going to try and take it from a different angle, certainly not one based in economic or immigration theory. But this is the problem with the Trump administration. They have built such a big tent. It's such a huge coalition. They have trouble matching policies to try and please everyone. And it's exacerbated by the fact when the people crafting those policies, they might be smart, but they really have no idea how these systems actually operate, right? So let's take Howard Lutnick for an example. I'm sure Howard Lutnick has employed some H1b visas in his financial career in the past, right? And he wants to say, oh, we actually want to funnel American workers into these positions. This is just one side of the argument. This is the immigration and workforce side of the argument. That's all good and fine, but the whole reason we have these H1b visas is because we can't find the Americans to fill these positions in the first place, and they are critical to ensuring growth at these, high end of the spectrum companies that drive the market and drive tech innovation across the country. This is just not a good solution. On top of that, politically, we've heard a lot over the last 10 years about, Democrats just want, unchecked illegal immigration because those people are going to vote Democrat down the line, and even if they have anchor babies here or whatever, they'll be Democrats. The people that this will negatively impact the most, the immigrants who will be impacted the most, are the exact type of immigrants who go on to become Republican, right? This just makes no sense, and I think you sort of hit the nail on the head. Howard Lutnick hears anything about, how can we maximize incoming revenue without paying a damn about how this will actually play out in reality, either on the economic side or on the immigration side, and certainly not in the long-term political.
And if this is a tax,
right?
that means that the Laffer curve still applies. It means that if you, the same way that traditional Republicans always say, we want to cut income taxes because there is a certain tax point where people will just work fewer hours. The same applies to putting a tax on H1b visas. There will be a limit to, how much Amazon wants to shell out to sponsor someone's H1b visa.
Exactly. Nailed it.